Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So Tesla just showed off their production in Berlin had hit 5,000 units per week. And we have all the numbers from all the other OEMs from 2022. So we have all the data to really see how close, or rather how far behind, the others are in ramping up EV production. Especially with the F-150 Lightning and the Model Y in the Berlin factory, as they started production within a couple of months from each other. So this will really show you Tesla's production ramp supremacy, and Tesla is about to take this to a whole new level. So let's check it all out and let's dive right in. So let's take some of the new EV startups here in the US and compare them to one of the old guys like Ford and then Tesla's ability to ramp up production of EVs. Because this might surprise some people that do not follow this closely, just how impossibly fast Tesla has become at ramping up EV production. So Rivian started production in September 2021 of the R1T. And in all of 2022, their first full year of production, they produced just above 20,000 units. As we saw with Tesla when they had to ramp up the production of the Model S back in 2013, where they produced about 22,400 units. So that lines up pretty nicely with where Tesla was about a decade ago. So again, nothing we can really compare to what Tesla has become today. But then we have Lucid that also started production in September of 2021. And in all of 2022, Lucid produced less than 5,000 units. So this is a lot worse than what Rivian was able to do and what Tesla did with their ramp of the Model S. So they are in worse production hell than what Tesla was and Rivian is, even though their CEO said it was only Tesla that experienced production hell. Sure. Then we have Ford that started production of the Mach-E in December 2020. And in all of 2022, its second full year of production, it produced about 60,000 Mach-E's. But then we have Tesla started production of their Model Y in the Berlin factory in March 2022 and already has a weekly run rate of as much as Lucid produced in all of 2022, or monthly production rate is in the same ballpark as what Rivian produced in all of 2022, or the same in quarterly production run rate as Ford was able to produce of the Mach-E in all of 2022. So even though this ramp in the Berlin factory did not go as fast as Tesla had hoped for, it is still light years ahead of what the competition in the US is able to do. Some of them are a decade behind. And don't even get me started on GM, as they produced less Hummer EVs in a full year of production than what Lucid did, or the Lyriq for that matter. They delivered about as many Hummer EVs in all of 2022 as Tesla produced of EVs in just the last 4 hours. So I'm not even going to talk about GM in this video because they have to show us some kind of production ramp before we can even use them in a video like this. So Tesla will produce more Model Ys from the Berlin factory, only the Berlin factory, this year, in its first full year of production, than Ford will of their Mach-E globally in their third year of production. I actually think the Berlin has a great chance of producing more Model Ys than Ford will produce of all their EV models globally here in 2023. But time will tell. But the F-150 Lightning is probably the best comparison between Ford and Tesla when it comes to production, as they both started real production in the spring of 2022, only a month or two between them. So this gives us a very good indication of how much faster Tesla actually is at ramping up EV production compared to someone like Ford. Yes, the F-150 Lightning was a completely new EV model for Ford, but the Model Y, built in Berlin, was also a completely new way for Tesla to build the Model Y, with 2 gigacasting, a structural battery pack, and much more. So even though this is not a 100% apples to apples, this is as close as we can get it. And we know that Ford produced and sold just above 15,000 units of the Lightning in 2022. So they were only able to produce 500 units per week on average. And remember what I reported in 2021, that Ford doubled their target 2 times that year of the F-150 Lightning. First they said they wanted to produce 40,000 units, and then they were talking about 80,000 units. But Ford took it down to 40,000 units as a target of 2022, but they ended up only able to produce about 15,000 units. So we also have to keep that in mind when we talk about Ford's future targets. And they can blame it on chip shortage all they want, but Jim Farley himself said back in 2021 that chip shortage was not a problem, as that was only a question of prioritizing EVs over ICE cars. Batteries were the real bottleneck. So if we believe Jim here, they cannot blame chip shortage for their lack of EV production in 2022. But anyway, we now know that Tesla just hit 5,000 units a week in their Berlin factory. So we have no numbers of the F-150 Lightning production this year so far, but let's say about 1,000 units per week as of now, as Ford is aiming for about 40,000 units of F-150 Lightning this year, and to have a production run rate of about 150,000 units. So Tesla's Berlin factory will probably produce close to 50,000 units just in Q1 of this year, and probably something like 85,000 units in Q2. And with the ramp we are seeing from Tesla, I do believe that Tesla has a chance of getting over 350,000 units in 2023 if everything goes well, of course. So close to 6 times more than what Ford will produce of the F-150 Lightning. So Tesla is scaling up something like 6 times faster than what Ford is able to do. They started production at the same time. So yes, many people are saying that Ford came out before Tesla with the F-150, so that could hurt Tesla Cybertruck sales. But Tesla will start production of that beast this summer, so already in 2024, Tesla could very well be able to keep up with Ford's production of the F-150 Lightning with the Cybertruck production. Yes, this is a whole new kind of beast, and there will be some start problems of the production as always, but we have to remember this truck is much simpler to build than the F-150 Lightning, and even Tesla's other vehicles, as this is the first Tesla vehicle to be running on Tesla's 48-volt architecture. So the wiring of this car is much less than what Tesla has in the Model Y and Model 3, and they are even much better than what Ford has, as Sandy Munro has showed us many times when they tore down the Mark E and showed Ford mess of a terminal system and its other components, and Tesla's packing symphony, as they put it. But that will be even better with the Cybertruck with the new 48-volt architecture, and Tesla has even designed about 85% of all controllers for the Cybertruck themselves, where the Model 3 and Model Y is about 56 to 61%, and the next gen car, of course, 100%. But the Cybertruck is already very much simplified in wiring and e-fuses and controllers and the way it's built. And we also know this Cybertruck has been designed with production in mind. And on top of that, we know that this is the way Tesla assembles a car today. But the Cybertruck will delete one of those 4 steps: paint. It will not waste time and money on paint. Ford will simply not be able to keep up with this. They have to copy Tesla's Cybertruck if they want to, and I don't believe they want to do that. As we can see, the F-150 Lightning is already about 6 times slower in production RAM than the Tesla Model Y from the Berlin factory, which also started a whole new kind of model. So Tesla will probably spend most of 2023 to iron out all of the new hiccups that comes with a new production like this beast, the Cybertruck. But then a really high volume of Cybertrucks next year, and that production speed should be faster than anything we have seen before. So Ford is aiming to triple production of the F-150 Lightning this year to about 45,000 units and to a production run rate of about 150,000 units by the end of the year. So we should probably expect 2024 to be somewhere between 150 to 200,000 units. But remember, that plant in the US producing the F-150 Lightning right now is limited to 150,000 units. That is its max capacity. So that factory will not suddenly go up to 200,000 units in production. But the Model Y in Berlin within a year got to a yearly run rate of 250,000 units. So if Tesla will hit that with the Cybertruck as well, we could see Tesla make about 150,000 units of the Cybertruck in the second half of 2024, as they will of course continue to ramp up production of the Cybertruck. So Tesla could end up with 250,000 Cybertrucks produced in 2024. I believe that will be more than what Ford is able to do with the F-150 Lightning. So even though the Cybertruck came out a bit more than 1 year later than the F-150 Lightning, I believe Tesla only needs 1.5 years to overtake Ford in production run rate, as we know they are about 6 times faster to ramp up EVs. And the Cybertruck could be even faster when they iron out all the startup problems they might face. So I think the Cybertruck could start eating into Ford F-150 sales, not their Lightning, but just the F-150 series in general, and especially eating into Ford's Pro division. That is for the commercial side of the business, as the Cybertruck will be a much more capable pickup truck than the F-150 ICE version. And it doesn't dent or rust, but have close to twice the range of the F-150 Lightning. And Ford in 2024 probably will make something like 150 to 250,000 Lightnings, but the F-150 series has an annual production unit of close to 1 million. So there is a lot of market up for grabs in 2024 and the next couple of years before Ford gets the F-150 series electrified and bring in some new guns into the game with their Project T3. That should be Ford's next generation EV pickup truck, but that won't come out before sometime in 2024. So no, I don't think the F-150 Lightning will hurt Tesla's Cybertruck sales, as the EV market for pickup trucks has hardly started. Remember, even though we have the Rivian R1T and the F-150 Lightning and the Hummer EV already out now, they combined in 2022 only sold about 60,000 units in the US. The market for pickup trucks is more than a couple of millions in the US alone. So we are talking about less than 2% market share of the pickup market is EV today. I think there is plenty of room for everyone right now, but that will of course change down the road. But with the ramp we are seeing from the old OEMs, it will take some years to get a decent amount of market share. But Tesla will show the world just how great they are at ramping up production. But they have only just begun, as they are about to build their next generation Gigafactory that will produce Tesla's next generation EV platform. That will cost Tesla half to produce, but will also use only half the footprint to produce that car and speed up the whole production line of a car, as the car has been designed with engineers and manufacturing and automation in mind. So Tesla has sat down with all their engineers, designers, manufacturers, and automation staff, so they together could design a car that was easy to produce with as much automation as possible. So they have been reinventing how you produce a car once again, and reimagining how the different components should look and be built so a robot can do it instead of a human. So that Volkswagen comes out with a $25,000 EV in 2025, on their existing MEB platform, which they already are losing money on, even though their cars today are about $10,000 more expensive than what they will come out in only 2 years' time, they will still be building that car as they build cars today on the same EV platform. So for people to compare these two cars, like Volkswagen will have a $25,000 EV and Tesla will have a $25,000 EV. Same. No, not even close. This is like when people compare the Model Y to the Ford Mark E. Yes, they're both SUV and have similar specs and price, even though Tesla powertrain is about 25% more efficient than the Mark E, but Ford can just put in some more batteries to make it look like they have the same kind of specs. So for the customer, it has the same kind of specs. But when Tesla build their cars like 5 times faster than Ford is able to do and earn about $10,000 per Model Y they sell, and Ford loses about $22,000 for every Mark E they sell, it is simply not comparable, because Ford has just built an EV the same way they have been building ICE car for more than 100 years. Tesla, on the other hand, is building a Model Y in a completely different way, reinventing the production line to production cells, and with gigacasting and structural battery packs, simpler wiring, heat pump and octovalve and e-fuses instead of relays and fuses, and making almost everything in-house instead of having outsourced everything. And Tesla will now take this to a whole new level with the next generation car, with the next generation factory, because the new factory in Mexico has also been designed by Tesla themselves, and with the new car and design and automation in mind. So I think this is the first time in history that a car company has ever designed a car and designed the factory that should be building that car together. So the factory is 100% optimized for this car, and this car is 100% optimized for this factory, and both reinvented on the whole way a car is built and manufactured. So no, the Volkswagen ID.2 will not be anything comparable to Tesla's next generation EV. As the Volkswagen Trinity platform is not ready, they will build this ID.2 in about 30 hours like they built the ID.3, because it will be built on the same kind of production line on the same platform. But Tesla will probably build the next generation car in half the time as they build the Model 3 today, and be able to scale up faster than anything we have ever seen before. Tesla has already shown us how much better at manufacturing and ramping up production they are compared to everyone else. And before everyone else even comes close to Tesla's ability to produce and ramp up EVs, Tesla will make a leapfrog in manufacturing innovation. Anyone thinking the old guys will catch up to Tesla's production is just kidding themselves, or not really paying attention to what is happening right now and what is about to happen within the next 2 years. If you think Tesla is ahead today, you have seen nothing yet. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.